I was in a church building, and if you've been following any of these vlogs, you'll know that I'm not a fan of churches, like at all. Gosh, it's hot here. The sunlight, and then I had my but I don't like churches. I don't like organized religion. I really don't like that. But I was in a church building, and I was standing off in a corner. I was wearing a white t-shirt and jean shorts. And that's been something that I've been wanting to put in a lot of my projects for reasons that I'll get into later. And I was watching this girl. She was like in this white, kind of dirty dress, and she kind of looked like me, but she also kind of looked like this one girl that I know. She had the same eyes of this girl that I know who is very rebellious and she's just chosen the dark side, basically. And but she was my father's daughter, but I didn't know her. And there were all these like elders at the church, and I could tell because they were wearing these certain clothes. And if you know anything about church hierarchy, it's just a lot of these people are stuffed shirts, and they really only care about their position. And but anyway, the preacher was teaching, and he seemed like an okay guy. But the girl, she stood up, and she was wearing this, like I said, she was wearing this white dress. It was like kind of dirty-ish. Like it was made to be that way, though. And then she stood up, and she pointed her finger at him, and she started laughing. And like a lot of the elders around the church were like, okay, whose daughter is this? And she started like making all these, just, you know, she was just laughing and just being really disruptive. And my dad went over to her, and because everyone was like, get your daughter under control. And she had this cord in her hands, like a I think it was like an iPhone cord. And my dad was like, because my dad has had a very difficult time training anybody to do anything. He can't get people to obey him. But anyway, so he went over to her, and he's like, can you please give me the cord? And he was being very passive about it. Maybe I shouldn't, well, anyway. I said it was my father, there you go. I was like, maybe I should have said he was related to me, but whatever. So, but she took the cord and snapped it right in front of him, and I was just like totally taken aback, and everybody in the room went, we all collectively gasped. And because it was like this act of just, you know, terrible defiance, basically. And she started laughing maniacally, and a lot of these people came over to usher her out of the building. And I was just standing there. I don't think I even had any shoes on. I was like in my bare feet. And I was standing in the corner of this building, and I was like, okay, everyone, we're gonna go outside. This is no longer like a good place to be, is basically what I was thinking and saying. So I started ushering everybody out of the building, and everybody who passed by me looked at me, because they were like all in their Sunday best clothes, you know, and I was just in my little, you know, shirt and jean shorts, and everybody looked at me like I wasn't wearing fancy enough clothes or something, and I just didn't care. I was even able to not judge them for judging me. I was just like, okay, we're just getting you out of the building, you know. And I was at peace with myself, and I was at peace with them, but I thought it was just kind of silly what they were doing. I was like, it's just kind of silly. And on the screen, there was like these big screens in the building where they would, like, I guess, put words to songs and stuff on them. Whoa, the light is really bright. On the screen, there was like a story that I was telling myself, that it was appearing on the screen, about two dragons. And then I think my mind kind of went off to another little story about like kids running around a building, like doing laser tag. But that was in my head, and I was like, oh, I gotta focus on these people getting out of this building. So, but yeah, anyway, it was, I don't know, that was just a random detail, I guess. And then everyone was out of the building, and then all of a sudden my my back was up against the wall of like the building, and there were, I looked around, and there were all these children with me. And I used to do this thing as a kid where I'd lean up against the wall, and then you'd push away and like either clap your hands in front or like clap your hands up against the wall, and I was doing that. So it was like this like 1 2 1 2 1 2 kind of rhythm. And then all the kids, like there were like probably 5 or 6 kids around me. It wasn't like that many. I think probably 4 of them were boys and 2 of them were girls. That's what it felt like to me. And we were all doing different like funny rhythm type things. So like, you know, sometimes like you would do like you'd sit in your chair at school and your foot would start to go, or your pencil would start to go, or something like that when you're making a rhythm and you like aren't totally aware of it. And so everybody was doing that, and all of our rhythms together were like making a song, and I was like, hey, this is making a song. And everyone was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then I was standing in, I think it looked like, it must have been Times Square, I guess, because it looked exactly like how, what's that movie, Enchanted? There, like in Enchanted, there's this like, what do you call that? Like I think it's a sewer plate. That, you know, that comes, it's like on the ground, and then you can move it and they can go down and do stuff underneath the roads. So, I wasn't like in the middle of the road. It was odd. It was like this, it was like a concrete island basically, where there were streets all around, and like I could access things, but I was by myself, and there were like some buildings next to me, and there were screens everywhere. And I was just like dancing in this, it wasn't in the street, like I said, it wasn't in the street, but I was dancing there, and it was like I was just supposed to dance, and people would like walk by and kind of look at me funny, like, well, what is she doing? And I was just like doing my own thing, and my sister was standing off in a distance, just kind of like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. And so I was dancing, and then I started purposefully walking on rough and hot concrete to like make my feet harder. So I walked on, it was like broken up, not broken up gravel, but it was like concrete that was like really tattered and torn and kind of uneven. So I was walking on it, and I was like, yes, my feet are getting harder. And that was something I used to do as a kid so that I could walk barefoot in the summertime. I would walk like on our rocky driveway so that my feet would get hard. And so I was walking on that, and my feet were getting nice and hard, and I was like, I need to tell one of my friends or whatever to do this to their feet so they can walk on on the road and run on the road. And then I went back to dancing, and my feet didn't hurt as bad because I had walked on the concrete or whatever. And then I woke up. But I just thought it was an interesting dream. I'm not sure what all the pieces mean. I know what most of them mean, I think, but it just was just interesting. And I feel like it's just kind of like a confirmation for some of the things that I'm supposed to do, like project wise and stuff. I was really excited about that. So, because like everything that was in the dream seemed good. There was nothing that seemed like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Everything seemed, very like helpful and healing to everyone who was around me. So that was good. And, I woke up having like a really good sense of purpose. So that was really awesome. So anyway, that's my dream log. And I've had a couple other dreams, but I didn't feel like I needed to like log them. They were just really small, but I haven't been having like significant dreams since the last one that I shared. So anyway, yeah, but that was my dream. So have a good day, everybody.